week I I ran into this interview. It was this Don Lemon interview, which he's an influencer now.
Yes, I do watch Don Lemon's like his live streams sometimes. He likes to clickbait. He loves to click. He'll be like Trump exposed, and it's like he'll just like go in.
It's a lot, but I'll say because I remember when he was on whichever one of those news
CNN, I believe.
Yeah, I was like, this is a sellout, dude. Like I don't know. He was a corporate dude. So I wasn't really caring. And then I remember when he got fired because he said something about what, Nikki Haley or something. And so I was like, damn, that sucks. And then he was like, I'm gonna be an influencer. I was like all the rest of them, good luck. But I actually enjoy his content.
Yeah, no.
He was talking about the Nolan Wells case this week that I don't want to talk about today because I'm gonna wait until I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna wait to see what's going on. I can't engage. It's too heartbreaking.
It's really it's a lot. It's a lot. No, it's a lot, and like it's a lot.
Yeah. So, but he was interviewing Monique, right? And they got to talking about well, you know that Monique has been having that issue and essentially has been blackballed for like over a decade, yeah?
Yes.
So for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, so about a decade or so ago when Monique did the movie Precious, she was asked to go out and do, press interviews and things like that, that went beyond her contract. And she told them that she's not going to do free work that's outside of her contract. And that if they wanted her to go do that, they needed to give her a different contract or money. And if that wasn't going to happen, then she's not going to do it. What happened from that was she got labeled as hard to work with. She got blackballed. She had famous feuds with Oprah and Tyler Perry, who were the producers, I think, of the film.
Yep.
She then went on to try to get us to boycott Netflix because they began lowballing her for her comedy special. So she had a few years where like she was trying to like fight the good fight, and the people that should have had her back for sure shut her down.
Yeah.
I remember when I watched because she did an interview on The View. My God, back during that time or whatever, and she was talking to Whoopi Goldberg about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And girl, I remember Whoopi Goldberg shut her down so fast, and I remember watching it. And it was really uncomfortable because Monique was like, "I'm trying to fight for us to get better pay," and Whoopi was just like, "You need to go out there and do what you need to do. If they ask you to do it, you do it. That's what you do when you're an artist." And she was like, "Not for free," and it was a weird situation to watch a black woman berate a black woman for fighting for higher pay for black women.
Yeah.
But also Whoopi's friends with Oprah, so I mean, it's the truth. But anyway, he interviewed Monique and her husband, Sidney Hicks. There was a part that I thought was interesting. She called out Don Lemon for being one of those people who goes out there, and she spent like I think 10-15 minutes on it, calling him out for not being a good friend or for going out there. And black people in general who claim people as sisters, brothers, and all this other stuff, but when it comes time to get in the paint for them, they disappear, right? And so she also called Don Lemon out on that because he was like, "You keep calling me sister, friend, and all this other stuff, but I don't see you acting like a friend. You're not telling Tyler Perry to make it right. You're not telling Oprah to make it right. Yeah. You're not telling the world that I was correct. Like, you're not standing on business for me, and that's not what friends do, right?" So anyway, what brought about this interview is that actually this started with Taraji P. Henson.
Yes.
When she was doing The Color Purple, right? Yep. She was doing a bunch of interviews where she was telling people that she felt like she was getting underpaid, underballed, and she was overworked, and that she was considering quitting acting because she felt like she wasn't getting paid the same as other people, and she wasn't getting paid her worth, and she was really struggling.
Really shady.
Yeah, I mean, but it happens to all of them. Like,
I mean, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the furthest memory I have of that back was like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air situation.
Oh, wait, with the mom on Fresh Prince.
Janet Hubert, I think was her name.
I think so. It's been that's not my generation, low key. I did watch a couple, I watched the reruns, but I was
a millennial, so I remember when Aunt Viv went from being dark-skinned to light-skinned.
Yep.
I remember being really confused.
That was that was big. That was like history. That was like Black history in that moment.
And they didn't even explain it. They just was like, "Oh, she's light now," and I was like, "Oh, I guess Aunt Viv is light-skinned." Okay.
Now.
And then you find out later that she had this giant beef with Will Smith, and then she tried to get
yep.
her contract, and they told her to fuck off, and it was like, oh,
it was bad.
Oh,
it was bad.
So, but anyway, so yeah, it started from that, and so he basically asked Monique, how does she feel about that? Having essentially been one of the people who,
like a pioneer in Black cinema,
she was one of these people who was fighting those fight like just a decade ago, and she was blackballed, and she's just now starting to kind of get a career back, and now it's.
But the irony is that Oprah also produced Color Purple, and Taraji also clocked Oprah for her behavior. So
no, but you know what's crazy about that?
It's a little fishy.
So that's where the beef started.
Exactly.
Monique was originally behind Taraji and was like, "You girl, fight your fight," and then a little bit later was like, "Why aren't you naming names? Why don't you tell everybody who's low?" It's Oprah and it's Tyler Perry. It's the same Black people who are supposed to be hiring Black people and taking care of Black people who are underpaying them and expecting them to do free shit.
Yeah.
Which okay.
and those are Monique's words. Those are Monique and Taraji's
Those are Monique's words. Those
aren't what they've said. I mean, we just gotta clear it up. Like that's what the story is. That's what they said.
This is Monique's side of the story, absolutely. And then so basically what happened from all that is she got labeled hard to work with.
But what's the Don tea? Because I want to know what Don said. Because Don always likes to he adds a little twist. I like the way he kind of approaches news journalism.
Don. Girl, I don't know how I felt about Don in that interview. He was very apologetic that he hadn't had her back. He was saying he was going to do better. He did say that he was going to try to call Tyler Perry to make it right. After she spent, I think, 20, 30 minutes prodding him about it, he finally was like, and I'm going to make the phone call.
But wait.
I don't know if I can do anything, but I'm going to try.
Are Taraji, are Don and Monique, like, close? Like, are they close?
No, this is something I didn't know because I didn't really watch the Monique show. But I guess apparently... when Don Lemon originally came out, he did it on Monique's show.
No!
Or when he came out, he went to Monique's show first. So either way, she was very instrumental in the beginning of his careers when he came out.
Yeah.
And providing a space for him to feel like he's safe as a queer Black man.
Yeah.
And that's part of why she was calling him out, is because she was like, because they did an interview before about the same thing. And she said that she didn't like that interview. And when she told him, and she was like, the same way that I created a safe space for you to come onto my program as a person who came out as a queer Black man is not what you did to me. I remember when I walked into that space, I didn't feel like I was being heard. I didn't feel like I was safe. I didn't feel like it was open.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of calling out of Don. Don is very like chillax. Yeah. And so he kind of was just like, I'm sorry. No, I mean, that's my bad. I didn't mean for you to feel that way ahead of time.
That's my bad.
It's my bad. There was this clip that he asked her about in the interview as well, right? Because I guess at one point she went on to the Breakfast Club.
Who Monique went on to the Breakfast Club?
She went on to the Breakfast Club.
Okay.
And she called, and then she did a whole interview with Charlamagne the God.
I feel like I've seen that interview too. I was on a big Monique tour, like after her, because I saw her on Cat Williams. That was when I first, not first saw Monique, obviously, but like when she re-entered the zeitgeist for me a little more recently, was her Cat Williams interview, and she definitely was like going in. But I feel like Cat, from what I remember of that interview, Cat was also very like, Cat was understanding of what Monique was saying because Cat's also experienced like shady coonery in the comedy space, so they seem to be able to like connect on that front.
That makes let's see, where was it? There was a clip. I'm gonna play some of the audio because I thought it was interesting and her response. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit so that we don't get like
and wait hear it. Oh, that worked perfectly.
Slay. So here's the little clip that and it's at 1.5 speed.
Okay.
God, and you got up out of your chair as you were finishing the show, and we're going to run the clip, and you had a few choice words for him.
Is private student loan debt?
Oh my gosh.
You really need to talk to
the YouTube ads of it all.
Yeah, and it'd be crazy too, because I had it, you'll have it pulled up and chilling, and you will still get an ad. Here, let me back this up a little bit.
You were on The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God, and you got up out of your chair as you finish the show, and we're going to run the clip, and you had a few choice words for him.
You know what, brother? You're going to hear yourself a lot from me lately. You're going to hear yourself around the world because we have to explain brothers like you. We do. And when we watched that movie, Birth of a Nation, and we saw that man walk his wife into that master's house, we watched him walk his wife in. Then we watched him go back and get him. You're that brother. I thank y'all for your time, my baby.
What?
I was like, ooh.
You need to say that too.
Let me turn that. I was like, ooh. I was like, I don't remember that happening.
The walkout.
I was like, the whole, basically she said, she called, these are Monique's words. These ain't my words. These are Monique's words. She looked him in the face and said, you one of those coon brothers who would take your black woman to the massa, let him do whatever he wants, and then come pick her up afterwards and be like, there you go. I was like, I was like, dang.
Yeah.
But I've heard that about Charlamagne over the years, though. And I don't really watch The Breakfast Club because it has that one lady. It has that one lady.
Yeah.
I
said I've definitely heard that about Charlamagne. I've heard a lot of how do I say this nicely? I've heard a lot of gossip, rumors, tea, just the whole Breakfast Club situation. You know, I was watching Monet's and Bob's podcast, Sibling Rivalry, and they were talking about how Monet mentioned that she watches The Breakfast Club. And my mother, we're just gonna get into it. My mother's ex-boyfriend, who was kind of a little bit of a bum. He was a little bit of a bum. He wasn't exactly provider of the year. A scrub. A little, very that. This is her ex-boyfriend. This was years ago. But he also watched The Breakfast Club. And he would watch The Breakfast Club religiously. Like, I would literally this is back. See, now you're making me dig up all my old memories. So back when I was a younger person, I didn't have a door. My mother removed my door off of my room because of a whole situation, her finding out I was gay. It was a whole big thing. And so I remember I was born in New York. Or I was born, okay. You're getting okay. This is a lot. I was born in New Jersey. I lived in upstate New York, and then I moved to Virginia. And so I was living in Virginia for the last basically like grade 1 to end of undergrad. I was in Virginia, and I was living with her for most of that, and he was with us for a large part of that time. Anyway, I just remember getting like woken up religiously to The Breakfast Club. I was always listening to Charlamagne. I was always hearing like the tea, the gossip, it was eerie. And so I personally, this is just my own personal attachment to the show. I'm not a fan of The Breakfast Club. I don't watch, and like, not that I don't like The Breakfast Club. I'm not a fan. I'm not a watcher of The Breakfast Club. And I understand that it has a significance in the Black community. It's definitely for us, by us, in all its good, bad, and ugly. And so, I definitely think Charlamagne is a complicated character in like radio, news, journalism, but I think he does have some integrity. I think he tries to speak up for us, but I think what you're kind of pointing at, and what I think Monique is pointing at, and what I think these clips are pointing at, is the lack of support for Black women. And I
support of Black women, except apparently if that Black woman happens to be transphobic. Then he loves her. He'll give her a co-hosting spot.
Yeah. And like for me,
money, right?
For me, I just think it's tacky. I think it's tacky. I think it's tired. I think it's played out. I think that the Black community has bigger fish to fry right now than being homophobic.
Why do you think the Black community focuses so much on homophobia and platforming homophobic people and putting Black homophobic, transphobic people as the pinnacles of like our examples, rather than like a Chadwick Boseman when he was still alive, or a Terry Crews comment?
So yeah,
that's not an answer, or that's not a question we need to answer right now. That's just a thought that I've had. That we wonder why our youth have some issues, but then we see like Boozy and Young Thug, and I don't really think that.
Well, look,
I think that answers the question just right there. Let me stop.
No,
Let
you're.
me stop.
This is what this podcast is for. This podcast is to air out all the tea. This is the tea pod. Okay, the trans
Black men don't
perspective.
support black women, and black men don't support trans women, and black men don't support gay men. And
hold on.
Straight black men.
I identify as non-binary. I just got to speak up for the black men because I think it's easy to sometimes dog on black men. Black men get it from every side. I think because I know this is a good. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is the tea.
Here's what I'll say, because it's a controversial thing, and as somebody who's fought for black men my entire life, what I want to say is I think that when black men get it, I think that when they're smart, I think that when they're inclusive, I think that when they have a mindset towards equality for all, they are the strongest allies we've had. Those are the ones who will stand and have my back. Those are the ones who will stand in front of me if somebody tries to fight me. Those are the people who would check up on me. Those are the people who would bring you out. Those are the people who would check people talking crazy to you. That exists, and that is not a small portion of us.
Yeah.
There is a smaller portion of us who are a lot louder, who focus so much on things that don't advance us, such as homophobia and transphobia and misogyny, and in some cases, a little bit of prejudice towards some of the other groups. And that particular population, I think it's a smaller part, but it is a loud part. In fact, I would say it's probably one of the loudest portions of our community, and I don't understand why we keep platforming them. That's what I'm saying. When I'm on the street, black people don't say transphobic or homophobic shit to me, but then when I turn on my TV or my entertainment, that's all I see.
This is what I think, and I've been seeing a little bit of conversations about this recently around like trans identities in the mainstream, and I think it's unfortunately just like a fear, and I think it was Laverne Cox. I think maybe was on. I was like a little quick clip I saw on TikTok, but Laverne Cox was talking to some like CNN host and some like news host. It was like a news network, and she was saying that like trans people are the solution. You know, trans people and their ability to live in their identity and live in their authenticity is confirmation for cis hetero people of like what they could be and how they could live, but because they're okay with or they allow themselves to give in to patriarchy, give in to these systemically oppressive systems that force them to conform into these perfect people, because they allow themselves to perpetuate that system, they see trans people as like an enemy because they're like, oh, well, I have to twist and contort myself and so should you. Like, how dare you be yourself? How dare you show up authentically? And when I have to bind myself, and it's like, baby, nobody's making you bind yourself. Nobody's making you, you know, hold
it's also
these
the thing of
values.
like they think that when you come out as queer or whatever, like homophobic people think that means that like you're gonna want them. Like that's something I've had to deal with is like, oh, just don't flirt with me. And it was like, babes,
you weren't on the menu.
Does anybody else flirt with you?
Yeah,
I have standards, girl. Like, come on.
You're not meeting them. Like, you're not meeting them.
It'd be weird. And actually, you know, because we are talking about it, I do want to talk about one black man who I do think pleasantly surprised me in this, and I wish that more of this was out there. And it's actually going back to what the original topic was Monique's husband, right? Okay. And I have gone to the point where literally anybody can build a fully stop that. Monique's husband, right? And you know, if you're black and you were paying attention around the time that this precious stuff happened, you were hearing a lot of crazy stuff about Monique's husband, particularly that it was him who was making her do this, who was making her fight these stupid fights, that he was a money grabber, or he was doing whatever, right? Just all these things denigrating this black man. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what I thought about him. I don't know if I had negative thoughts. I don't know what I thought about him, but it wasn't necessarily what I ended up getting. So there's this clip. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you in real time and see how you feel about it. It was pretty interesting. And he's talking about the queer community specifically. Well, he's talking about people in general, but he mentions the queer community. Hold on, let me turn this back because I got that commercial.
Person I playing this for, did you get your job?
People have a problem with a sincere individual in real time. We talk about all of what it is that's important, that matters, nobility, but the same way she's fighting for you, see, people don't understand that I, along with Monique, we wrote the copy for her for marriage and gay marriage in Maryland, because it's important for us to root for the underdog, because we're all united. And the 99%, we're closer than we realize, but we only see what's affecting us. So when I hear her coming home speaking about the individuals that have touched her and she's touched that are typically the underdog, it doesn't matter if they poor white folk, it don't matter if they're gay, it doesn't matter if they trans, it doesn't matter.
All right.
You hear all these people talking about God, but they don't accept what God created.
Okay, let me say
And
this.
now let's clock that. Let's go ahead and clock that.
I was gonna say, they talk about God, but they don't like what God created. But I was like, I need more examples like that. Why don't we have more examples of people like that saying those things?
Yeah.
Where the youth need guidance, and all that we have right now in the zeitgeist is everybody who's different sucks. You have to hate anybody who's different.
Actually,
Everybody who's different.
literally, that's the rhetoric, is that if you're different, you suck.
That's really what it is. Like,
that's literally
I know
it.
that as a trans person, it's easy for me to be like, oh, they just hate me because I'm trans. But no, it's literally everybody who's different. If you are different, that includes Black people, by the way. I don't know why they think they're exempt.
Yeah.
Which is again why I don't think that I don't know why you would subtract the allies from the movement by kicking out Black, queer, and Black trans people from a movement towards Black excellence, or trying to bully. Like, it doesn't make sense. You need the numbers and you're subtracting.
Here's what I think it is. This is what I'm gonna say, and then I think we should take a break. I think that Black people are so used to being like shat on and denigrated from all sides and all angles, and I think most marginalized people can understand that, and I think that it's easier to, I mean, obviously it's easier to blame all your problems on somebody else than it is to take accountability. That's ultimately that's what it is. It's, I don't want to have to sit with who I am and what my flaws are and how my worldview could possibly be incorrect or not 100% correct. And so I'm going to take that frustration out on you by making it seem like you're the problem and offloading all of my accountability onto you. I don't want to be accountable. Fuck you. That's what it is.
I had another perspective I was thinking about this week, and then we can take our break. But something, because it just came to me the other day, and I just remembered it, is I was sitting there thinking about it as well. And I was like, being a Black parent in America is hard because there's so many things that can kill your child.
Yeah.
That you're very overprotective, right? So when it comes to like the gay issues in Black households, what we know about it, they may not have a lot of information, but what they do know is that their child being this thing makes them a bigger target.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think that in a quest to protect the youth from all the powers outside the house, that they attack certain things like that, not necessarily because they're homophobic, because it is what it is, but because they see that as something that could inherently harm their child if they do it. And so they feel like they have to go extra hard against the thing, like homosexuality or trans or whatever, in order to protect their child from the world outside. And I think that they think that that's helping, but I think that that creates more broken adults who leave their home as adults and are angry at other people for doing the very thing that they have spent their entire childhood getting beaten, grounded, shit taken away, doors taken off, being told in a quest to stop something that, quite frankly, is not your choice.
And can't be stopped. And look, and that's the T on the T pod. Let's take a break.
We'll be back soon. Hey y'all! Thank you so much for watching our video. If you had fun with us today, don't be shy. Like, comment, and subscribe. And tune in every Friday at 5 p.m. for our full episodes. Have a good day, and remember to see the world with a little more cop.